How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Chad Henderson. I am not Kanye West. I am not even a Mac Daddy. I am a dungeon master. It's true. Playing Dungeons & Dragons, I've learned a few things that I'm actually going to share with you tonight. It's a little surprising that you can actually find life lessons playing with nerds. So what is D&D exactly? It's an RPG, a role-playing game, but what does that mean? Well, D&D is a framework. It's a framework for your imagination. For the nerds in the audience, it's an SDK for creativity. That's the sound of D&D happening. Playing D&D is awesome. You get a bunch of people together in a group development environment and you make amazing epic stories. So when you're playing D&D and you're with your friends hanging out, something that's really, really important is who you're playing with. You have to know the people you're with. It's really crucial that the people together mesh. They have to get along. You have to spend time learning who they are, talking to them, learning their passions. Because it might surprise you a little bit. You never know what people are into. And when you get them together, they can make some amazing things that happen. I love that guy. So, one of the first things you learn as far as rules go is called initiative. Initiative is simple. It's a small little figure that's on your character that you add to the dice roll to determine who goes first. So when you go into combat, everybody rolls initiative, sort it, and you decide who goes first. You would think that going first is always a great thing. I want to go first. Not always. Sometimes it's better, you hear first to market. I want to be first to market. Well, that's great if you're first to market and you do it right. But if you're first to market and you know what the hell you're doing, so it doesn't matter when you get into it. Do a good job when you get there. If you don't go first, that's fine. Just make sure it counts because, well, it's obvious. Now, when you get your turn, you have to do something. Don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid because you don't know what's going to happen. So take your shot. In D&D, there's a great rule. When you roll the dice to see if you hit somebody, if you get a 20, it hits no matter what. It always hits. Natural 20 hits. If you roll another natural 20, you get a chance to roll a third. If the third one hits, it's an automatic kill no matter how big your enemy is. It always kills them. So, take your shot. You never know what's going to happen. It might surprise you a little bit. So, another thing that really doesn't relate to real life that much is don't trust gnomes. I'm just saying that. I'm just letting that fly. That's out there, whatever. So, when you're getting ready to do something important, you make a plan, you get together with your friends, you decide what you're going to do. You overthink it usually. You think you've got everything under control. You know exactly what's going to happen no matter what contingency comes into play. It doesn't usually work out that way. So you have to be ready to change the plan. Don't be so rigid that you can't change the plan. Go in a different direction. Be ready to act in a different way because otherwise you're going to fail or someone else is going to fail, which causes you to fail. So be ready to act. Now, surprisingly enough, failing actually can be a cool thing. It can actually work really well for you. So don't be afraid to fail because playing D&D, what you find is when you fail, it's usually the coolest thing that could possibly happen. It's the most memorable, it's the most exciting, it's the thing that people talk about for years and years and years to come. In life, when you fail, that's the thing you remember. That's what you learn from. That's how you learn who you are. So don't be afraid to fail. Make it happen, do things, get exciting. If it fails, that's okay. Now, when you're playing and you're a dungeon master, you have to spend a lot of time creating the story and creating the rules of the world or whatever, the plot. But you have to be really ready to improvise. The way that works is you spend many, many hours preparing to improvise. And that sounds like it doesn't make sense. But in life, this is called never stop learning. As a programmer, I have to constantly learn new things because I never know when my company is going to need me to do something surprising that I didn't know ahead of time. So be ready to learn new things. Now, finally, as you're learning, you're going to find out that most of the time the rules just suck. They don't work. And you're going to get in a situation, this is the real rules, by the way, this is insane. If it doesn't work for you, if you find that it just doesn't make sense and you're miserable in your life playing by somebody else's rules, change them. Make your own rules. Do your own thing. Find a way to be happy. If you have to make your own rules, if you have to branch out on your own thing, that's fine. Do it you'll be better off with it. Thank you guys. I hope I get to play with you guys sometime. Have a good evening.